Hey everyone, it's Luke here from LT Gaming and welcome back to you LT Gamers. Today I'm going to put together the first episode of our content patch series where we look at major games we've covered on the channel and also summarise changes and patches to games that we're following. This includes full releases and early access titles so you can check on games and their development. Today I want to focus on two main games and they are Aliens Dark Descent and Star Trek Resurgence. I want to have a look at the update, how the games are, and also give some feedback into my experience so far with these titles. I never got to review them. I did do what to expect videos on them, but I didn't get a chance to review them as I never got review keys. So I was a little bit late to the party, and I love Aliens Dark Descent, so I want to touch upon the game and its improvements in the first major patch. We are also in the middle of a massive sales video, so make sure to go check that one out. Tom's done a magnificent job. I really love the games that we've picked on that video. It's a much more deep dive. Now, we've had some people come back and say, where's Call of Duty? Where's NBA 2023 2K? I don't know what it's called. I have no idea. But look, that's not the sort of channel we are. We deep dive. We're strategy gamers. We love certain franchises, Aliens, Star Wars, Mount and Blade. That's the type of channel we are. So if you love that sort of thing and you're a bit more of a deep gamer, you're going to love this channel. So make sure to like, comment and subscribe. Me and Tom love the trajectory that we're taking and we would also appreciate you joining the journey. So first up today is Aliens Dark Descent. I never got a review copy of this, but I bought it with my own money and I can only say this will probably end up in my top 10 games of the year, if not the top 5. I am having an absolute blast with this and I think it's a real credit to the Aliens franchise. I'm so glad that they went with real-time strategy with pulls because it's a real breath of fresh air. I think if it had been another turn-based style XCOM game, I would have got bored pretty quickly. But the atmosphere, the combat, the stress that this game puts you under, and normally you could speak to Tom, I crumble under stress in games, right? But this one for some reason has stuck with me, possibly because of the franchise. The environments are awesome. Honestly, I'm very high on this game and I think it will end up in my top 5 of 2023. Also, I had to laugh a little bit. I saw reviews coming out of this game after they had review copies for maybe a few hours. This is not that sort of game. I honestly don't think I'm ready to review it and I put in 15 hours. So that's the sort of game that this is. It's extremely deep and long. I'm taking my time with it. It's so much fun, honestly. It's a real credit to the Aliens franchise. Finally, we got a really good game. And that's no smear on Alien Isolation. That is also an excellent game, but I wanted something with colonial marines that has the DNA of Aliens, James Cameron's sequel. The game, of course, was not without fault, and a number of people pointed out issues with the game, such as repetitive sound dialogue. Yeah, I think you all know what I'm talking about. But anyway, we're going to jump into the patch and see what direction the game is moving in. Now first of all, scanning the patch notes, I see they fixed a number of game-breaking issues across missions. This was reported by a number of players, especially in the Steam community, and it is very important that they fix these because there's nothing worse than games not working. So I see across the notes a number of these have been fixed. Major bugs have also been ironed out, so dropping civilians, they will no longer disappear. There is an extensive list of major bug fixes and also AI improvements. I think this is very promising that the developer is going to work fast and hard on this game and we're going to see some major improvements. So far playing the game in 15 hours I had one major crash and it seems they've fixed a number of these in the welcome screen and also when opening eggs to release facehuggers. Yeah, that's probably a poor moment to have a crash, right? One of the issues that I encountered was that one of my squad members just disappeared. So I only had 3 Marines on the screen. When I reloaded after the installation of the patch, that Marine had returned, so that was definitely a welcome change for me. The patch also contains an extensive list of minor changes, including graphical, AI, clipping, and Otago issues. Rounding out the patch is a number of localization fixes and some balancing. New content with the patch can be summarised as 5 new traumas that your Marines can suffer from. This adds some extra diversity to the game. These include hypochondriac and obsessive compulsive. Also, extremely importantly, a hotfix came out shortly before this large patch that fixed the repeating line double time every time you clicked with your Marines. This has been drastically reduced and will only play when you run. Aliens Dark Descent is no doubt an extremely good game, and this patch really has shown their intentions to fix and improve many of the issues that have been reported. I think it's a really strong step in the right direction to make this one of the best games of the year. Now, moving on to Star Trek Resurgence. I have enjoyed this game, and once again, I didn't get a review copy, so I bought it with my own money, but it's not the Star Trek game that I wanted, and I'm sure many of you align to that. The narrative experience of the game was definitely high quality, but there were a number of jarring issues upon release, including this awful motion blur and a lack of support for higher resolutions. And while enjoyable, for me, the 7 out of 10 region really is fair for this. The team really did take their time in releasing patch 1.1, and I wasn't sure it was going to happen. It does speak a little bit to how the game has been communicated and marketed that I'm pulling the patch notes from Instagram. But regardless, using community feedback, the team have added support for higher screen resolutions. This really was a necessity from the start, and the fact it was missing, maybe this game needed a little bit more time in development. Thankfully, they have also included the ability to turn off that absolutely awful motion blur that I can't stand in any game, so that is definitely a step forward. Some other minor changes include added additional support for multiple monitors and the ability to invert the Y-axis setting. Yeah, I mean, this is basic and it really should have been in the game from the beginning. Some audio issues have been fixed, which is important for the narrative experience, and the patch sums up, but it also has a number of stability improvements and bug fixes. What these are, we may never know. Overall, while it's a general step in the right direction, the game is quite limited in itself, and all the patch has done is added things that should have been there from the beginning. So I'm not quite sure what went wrong with this title, but something was off in the development. But if you're looking for a Star Trek narrative experience, and now the patch has come out to 1.1, I would say pick it up if you're curious. Now it comes to that time where we summarise other games that we're interested in on the channel. I have been impressed with the constant patches and updates to Space Rain. They have included a number of hotfixes and have changed some of the mechanics. Strategic Command American Civil War has seen the 1904 Imperial Sunrise DLC and an update to 1.08. You must check out that game if you're into war games. They have added a lot of free content, which is always appreciated. Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, despite a contentious 1.0 full release, has seen continued updates, and the game has constantly improved, although I'm not sure they're ever going to get a handle on that grand campaign. Another game that we're very interested in on the channel we haven't covered yet is Nebulous Fleet Command, that has now seen the Tumbleweed update, adding a number of new features. One major update if you're interested in war games was to SGS NATO's Nightmare. They've added around 200 additional counters in the latest major update, and they've reintroduced the breakthrough mechanism. Bug fixes and rebalancing has also taken place, and this really is one of the premier modern war games. X4 Foundations, the absolutely amazing space sandbox, has moved to its stable update of 6.10, and public beta for 6.20 has started. This game continues to improve and is one of the best experiences out there today. And finally, to wrap up this episode, we will talk about Silica. The game has continued to improve with a number of patches. The ability to now jump on and control my harvester is a huge amount of fun, and I'm very high on this game, so do stick with it. I think that it's going in the right direction. So there we go, LT Gamers, this episode of Patch Notes comes to a close. It's been a lot of fun following up on games that we've covered on the channel. This is a new series, so make sure to comment and let me know what you think, and I can adjust for the future direction. Also keep an eye out for LT Gaming memberships, they're on the way. Tom and myself appreciate all of the support we get on the channel. As always, I've been Luke from LT Gaming, and I'll catch you on the next one.